So Gakkou Gurashi ended about a week ago, and I felt like I had to say something about it because it's annoying the hell out of me. To me, it appears like it's getting a lot of attention just because it tricks the viewer into thinking that it's a cutesy moe show for the first episode. And to say that that's a trick would be partially false, because it still is somewhat a cutesy moe show, but the show just wants you to think that because there's zombies walking around that makes it different. In actuality, the zombies aren't even relevant for about half the show, as the protagonists can just screw around and do whatever they want in their shelter until the part where the plot demands that a climax happens, so the zombies suddenly decide to break down their barriers and their power. A lot of the parts that don't include zombies feel almost exactly the same as a lot of those plotless shows about cute girls standing around and talking about random things. These conversations they have don't really feel like they're adding anything necessary a lot of the time, because they aren't talking about anything that really develops the situation, the characters, or fleshes them out in any way. Of course, you could say, but that's how they're bonding. Sure, that is true to an extent, but it's really hard to invest yourself in this supposed bonding when nothing that complex as far as character chemistry is going on. I don't believe that people can bond by only doing a bunch of normal activities such as sports or talking about pointless stuff. Of course, these kind of activities help grow people together to an extent, but there needs to be a sort of intimacy where the people truly begin to know each other, and this is where most good relationships stem from. Since Gakkou Gurashi doesn't do this, the spaces bringing the characters together feel empty, and in these spaces a bunch of generic slice-of-life comedy exists instead. The characters themselves feel a bit lacking in how they act as well as their backgrounds. At least two of the main characters' internal issues deal with losing another person whom we know basically nothing about. This is quite uncreative as the characters' internal conflicts have little variety. It's all just basically exploring the same thing multiple times with a hindrance, because the characters who are no longer there aren't well known by the audience, excluding one of them. This gives us little room to relate to the main characters. But I'd have to admit Yuki's internal conflict with Megumi is at least substantial because it procedurally shows us what Megumi was like as well as how important she was to Yuki, which is a significant step up from the conflicts of Kurumi and Miki. The four main characters are mostly defined by one prevailing character trait which gives them little variety in how they act through the whole show. I had trouble actually distinguishing Miki and Kurumi as characters since personality-wise they seemed almost identical to me. I guess they actually are different, but the difference gets very little focus, so that's probably why I thought that. Yuri has a sort of wise older sister sort of vibe, and Yuki is just a plain idiot. The fact of Yuki being so dumb makes me wonder how people would have reacted if she wasn't a cute girl, and instead were either a male of the same age, a woman, or ugly. I'm sure if that were the case, people would be far less accepting of her behavior and not just brush everything dumb she does to the side with the excuse of, it's okay because she's a girl. And while we're on that note, just imagine if all the characters were male instead of female, just how well people would like this show. At that point, people would probably be more inclined to dislike this show, even though it would probably be the exact same thing for the most part. Just look at Shinji Ikari and how much people hate him, even though most people would do the same things as him in his position. Now imagine if he were a girl instead, and you can probably guess that there would be a lot less vitriol thrown his way. So what I'm trying to get across with this whole tangent is that Gakkou Gurashi feels overly manipulative because it relies more on what the characters look and act like to get us to care about them rather than the actual circumstances of their situation. This is a cheaper way of getting the audience to be on board with things, and I really would have liked if they instead got us to empathize with the characters by giving them adequate substance instead. Of course, the main point of interest in this show is Yuki, who thinks everything in the world is alright and has hallucinations of her dead teacher, Megumi, from time to time. This is kind of cool because it relies on us figuring this out on our own using visual clues, and the fact of Megumi being dead isn't deliberately stated until about halfway through the show, and at that point most people would have already figured it out anyway. Yuki's condition is very shallowly explored, as she stays basically the same the whole show and nobody really tries to do anything or says much of it. The other characters resign to trying to help her because she's the only one making things seem cheerful, or something. I don't understand this kind of reasoning, as they're essentially relying on an insane person to provide them happiness, and an insane person's perception of happiness is about as far from reliable as you can get. Basing yourself on a fake conception of happiness is never going to get you anywhere. The main characters take little responsibility for their own psychological well-being, yet the show rewards them for it. You cannot achieve happiness or solve anything by ignoring obvious problems, and to me that seems to be the opposite of the kind of message the show is trying to send, because in the end a major conflict is solved by nobody doing anything. As for the zombies, there's many inconsistencies regarding how they act. There's a few scenes where the protagonists talk at normal volume and do things when zombies are within talking distance from them, and that somehow produces no reaction at all from the zombies. On the other hand, there's parts where zombies will react to a comparatively quiet sound, such as a door opening, and just swarm in from all over. It's really hard to immerse yourself in this world when the element of danger manifests itself so arbitrarily. There's also some very odd decisions that for whatever reason made it into the finalized version of the show. For example, at the end of episode 8 a giant plot twist occurs, yet it barely seems to matter at all because in the next episode the main characters decide to play around in their swimsuits, deciding to let it sink in before they decide to do anything about it. I guess to them, letting it sink in means mostly ignoring it and barely even trying to think about what it means. Even after that, this plot twist isn't even relevant for the final 3 episodes, and I don't remember anyone saying anything about it at all in these episodes, so what was the point of introducing this plot twist at that time if it was barely going to matter? Also, the ending climax has conflicts that are just solved without them actually being shown on screen, which is weird considering they could have shown these parts if they just edited out parts of the rather long epilogue. I have no clue why they thought it would be a good idea to cut out major parts of the conflict resolution. So there you have it. Gakkou Gurashi not only manages to do very little with its premise in 12 episodes, but it's also thematically idiotic. The show wouldn't have annoyed me as much if not for that last point, and I suppose that's because in narrative there's few things that annoy me more than having a clearly faulty message. And I suppose you could say it sort of redeems itself in this aspect at some points with the characters deciding to be happy amidst all the despair around them, but that's very hard to believe when the backing behind their happiness-sadness dynamic is so shallowly done. Hello there. I wanted to take some time to talk about some stuff because I haven't really had any place to do that recently. There's just some things that have been going on, and I haven't really said anything about it. I'm just kind of like might seem like I'm ignoring things or something. I'm not. So I'm guessing when I'm talking, there won't just be like empty blackness in the background because that'd be really boring. There's probably going to be uh, me playing a game or something. I don't know. I'm not sure at the time of me speaking. So, first of all, I know that over a month ago, I believe, Anime Stomp put me in his my top 20 favorite YouTubers video, and I just said like thanks when he posted something on my channel. I felt kind of ungrateful because that's all I said. So, that's really nice of him to do that. He didn't need to do that. I can't really thank him anymore. It's really nice of him to. There's not really any better way I can put it, but yeah, he's a pretty cool guy sometimes. So some people don't like him for some reason. Like I can see why people think he's someone else or something. But yeah. And also thanks to everyone who subscribed. Like it may not seem like it, but it means quite a bit to me to realize people actually want to listen to me talk about the stuff I talk about, like whatever I want basically, except not really whatever I want. So just thank you to everyone. Just everyone. Even if you say nothing in the comments or anything, or if you're just a random viewer, thank you. Like it's really important to me, like that. Yeah, I already said that. So recently I've taken a while to do stuff, like make videos, and there's a reason for that. I'm currently in college. I don't have a whole lot of time to work on this, but I still enjoy doing it and really would want to. I suppose I could just like make a better schedule to do it and stuff, but I haven't really got around to that because I've been doing a bunch of stuff. And I'm planning like the video I made, this video that you just watched, it wasn't the only thing I was working on the past month. I was also doing something else, which I'm not going to say what it is, but it'll probably be finished sooner or later. And I just worked on this because I wanted to do something shorter because I was tired of making really long videos because they're kind of exhausting at times. So much like patience and work that goes into them. Yeah. So I'm just gonna keep doing what I want. I might quit doing the kind of videos I do because I'm getting kind of tired of them. Like I could do other things relating to anime, or maybe not even anime at all, but it most likely will be related in some way to what I do right now. Well, mostly will be related to. I could do like something way out there that has nothing at all to do with Japan or anime, which I don't know if anyone would be interested in that, but I guess I can just do whatever I want, really. And of course, one of my other plans is to get a new microphone. Right now, this mic I have, it sounds really terrible. I think it does, at least. Like I'm an AM radio announcer or something. It's really weird, and plus it like has the weird pops open up at sometimes. Like you'll hear go or something in the background, and it's like really annoying because I can't correct that. To correct all of the times it does that, I would have to go and record it every time, re-record it every time to make sure it doesn't happen, which I'm not going to do because that would take forever. What else do I should I do? Yeah, that's probably about all the hardware I need, though. It'll be really nice to have my voice sound better and not have like annoying things where sometimes it'll record it and it'll just sound really bad quality. I'm like, what the heck? I'll have to do it again because there's no way I'm gonna release it when you can't even tell what I'm saying. And then, yeah, I think that's about all I wanted to say. Though this probably went on for longer than I intended it to, but I really wanted to say things. So, again, thank you for your time. I will see you some other time.